Whether you realize it or not, some of your favorite movies have been lying to you all this time. From Best Picture winners to indie hits, these bona fide classics seem to be about one thing, but ultimately end up revealing a completely different agenda. Whether the fault of a nervous studio's manipulative marketing or the deliberate intent of the filmmaker, each of these films totally defied the expectations of their audience, and the end result was undoubtedly all the better for it. I'm Adam from Whatculture.com, and here are 10 brilliant films that completely lied about what they were about. Number 10. Fight Club. A surface reading of Fight Club appears to treat it as a celebration of rebelling against consumerism, as evidenced by the number of fight clubs that started up in the wake of the movie's release. The reality is, y'all got played. The film's a mockery of sheep mentality. Downtrodden men and hormonal teenage boys tend to buy into edgy nihilism when, in fact, the movie's delivering the exact opposite message beneath all that admittedly awesome fighting and destruction. Let's put it this way, if your life choices cause you to end up putting a bullet through your mouth, it might be worth reconsidering them. Number 9. Drive. An American woman once sued a distributor of Drive for the cost of her ticket after criticizing it for having very little driving. Indeed, Nicholas Winding Refn was making a completely different film from what the advertising suggested. While it features occasional bursts of brutal violence and a little driving, the movie is way more 100 minutes of Ryan Gosling staring into the middle distance. More to the point, Gosling's character isn't some awesome, cool guy. His violent lashing out is incredibly disturbing at times, and his quiet, almost samurai-like stoicism has caused some to speculate that he might be autistic. Number 8. 500 Days of Summer. It's a quirky, cutesy, romantic comedy revolving around two hip, attractive people you wish you could be, right? God, no. You see, Tom is infatuated with Summer, or rather an idealized, non-existent version of Summer that he has created in his mind, and it's precisely because Summer is aware that he's placing her on a pedestal and not seeing her for who she is that she'll never pull the trigger on a relationship. This is a shining example of a film that hid its deeper, more interesting theme slightly below the surface so it could still be marketable to a mass audience in an appealing way. Number 7. Spring Breakers. Harmony Korine's crime drama was a marketing department's dream come true. The vast majority of the film is the likes of Vanessa Hudgens, Selena Gomez and Ashley Benson strutting around in bikinis, getting laid and getting wasted, so there's not much that needs to be done to sell it. However, despite its frothy veneer, Spring Breakers is a deceptively smart, insightful and even tragic film covering themes such as the objectification of women, the vapidity of pop culture and youthful obsession with it, the narcissism of contemporary youth and of course coming of age by way of traumatic realization. And also it's got boobs and stuff. Number 6. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre is on the surface a pretty straightforward movie about a family of maniacs who slaughter a group of youngsters. What else could there be to it? Well, in recent years, the film's apparent vegetarian agenda has come to light, that the systematic murder of the victims is akin to that of animals being killed for meat. They're captured, bludgeoned, hung up on meat hooks, and eventually killed for food before being shoved in freezers. The characters even discussed the depravity of killing animals for meat early on, and director Tobe Hooper himself has said, "In a way, I thought the heart of the film was about meat. It's about the chain of life and killing sentient beings." Number 5. $1 Million Baby. From its trailers through to the vast majority of the movie itself, $1 Million Baby is pretty fairly labelled as the female Rocky. In the movie's third act, however, Swank's character receives a broken neck mid-match and is rendered quadriplegic, requiring a ventilator to stay alive. The final third of the movie sees her trainer, Frankie, wrestling with whether or not to end her life at her request. Shocking and maybe jarring, but the end result was significantly better than just another down-the-line underdog story. However, Warner Brothers, out of a certain degree of necessity, weren't upfront and honest about what their film was. Number 4. District 9. This fiendishly imaginative sci-fi action is a not-so-subtle allegory for South Africa's apartheid, with the aliens representing black people who of course had their rights restricted for the sake of the whites. Right? No, close but no cigar. Writer-director Neil Blomkamp himself has confirmed that the film is actually about modern South Africa, with the aliens in fact representing Zimbabwean immigrants. Perhaps as a South African filmmaker, Blomkamp didn't quite realize that most of the world would defer to the more infamous apartheid rather than the more current issue of illegal immigration in his country. Number 3. Monsters. The marketing for Monsters heavily played up the notion that it was basically a low-budget Cloverfield, focusing on the CGI-driven mayhem as alien creatures laid waste to Mexico. In reality, Gareth Edwards' film barely features alien monsters at all and instead focuses on a road trip through Mexico and love against adversity. Edwards himself even commented on how hard the film was to market and basically admits that audiences were misled, saying, "It's like someone said the other day, they saw it and said, were you trying to make a love story for boys or a monster movie for girls?" And I sort of went, actually I was trying to make a road movie for aliens, so I think I completely f***ed it up. Number 2, The Crying Game. The original 1992 trailer for Neil Jordan's Best Picture nominated Crying Game sells it as part thriller, part romance. While the advertising plays fair in letting you know that something's up with Dill, the revelation that she's transgender in the movie's second half still comes as a majorly unexpected shock, completely turning everything we know on its head and transforming the whole movie into something totally different. Again, this deception is totally necessary to support the point the film is making, but unsurprisingly, there was plenty of outcry from less enlightened audiences when the movies came out, angry that they paid for a sexy thriller and got in their minds a quote gay central romance. And number 1, Aliens. On the surface, Aliens is a stylish action sequel which sees Sigourney Weaver as a kick-ass mama bear taking on a horde of xenomorphs with the help of a colonial marine do-bro friend. Though Aliens is indeed that thing, its central theme is actually an allegory of the Vietnam War. We see a technologically advanced fleet heading to an exotic locale where they face unexpected resistance from an enemy with unconventional warfare tactics like they've never seen before. The overwhelming cockiness of the soldiers, especially Colonel Hudson, was intentionally exaggerated in order to reflect American confidence heading into Vietnam. Trust Avatar's James Cameron to get a blatant political allegory into a financially successful, critically acclaimed action blockbuster. And that's our list. Did we miss any out? Tell us about it in the comments. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter here. I'm Adam from Whatculture.com, and I'll see you soon.